Once upon a time, this Hollywood actor pretended to be a famous model just to avoid embarrassment at an audition. Now, the whole world knows him as Khal Drogo and Aquaman. Jason Momoa is an American actor of Hawaiian descent, famous for his roles as fierce fantasy warriors. But why did he once want to be a marine biologist? And how did he manage to land a role on a major TV show? How did he end up marrying his childhood crush? And where did he get his iconic eyebrow scar? Why did he need a pink sock on the set of Game of Thrones? And how did he come to be homeless? We're about to tell you all about it.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man! Follow me!
Jason Momoa, the biologist who became Aquaman. Childhood between Hawaii and Iowa. Joseph Jason Namakeha Momoa was born on August 1st, 1979 in Honolulu. He was named after his father, Joseph Namakeha Momoa, a native Hawaiian with a small amount of English heritage. His mother, Connie, passed down German, Irish, and Native American roots to her only son. But Jason considers himself Hawaiian and holds Polynesian culture close to his heart. For example, as a child, his father taught him the haka, a ceremonial dance of the Maori, another Polynesian people, and Jason cherishes this tradition. Momoa's parents were both creative professionals. His father was an artist, and his mother a photographer. They divorced when their son was still very young, and Jason stayed with his mother. Soon after, they moved to Norwalk, Iowa, where he spent his childhood. From an early age, he was active and athletic. In high school, he played on the football team, and after a trip to Custer State Park in South Dakota, he became passionate about rock climbing. Jason has continued his hobby over the years and now teaches his children to rock climb. His mother says that in school, he was too shy even to speak in front of the class. So it amazes her that someone once so reserved became an actor adored by fans. Jason remains very close to his mother. Connie raised him on her own and instilled in him perseverance and her outlook on life, making her his personal superhero. Jason also kept in touch with his father as a child. Momoa Sr. would visit him in Iowa, and from the age of 12, Jason spent his summers in Hawaii, where he developed a deep love for the ocean and Hawaiian culture. After high school, Momoa studied marine biology at Des Moines Area Community College in Iowa. He later continued his education at the University of Hawaii in Manoa to reconnect with his father. During his college years, Jason traveled extensively. He studied painting in Paris and learned about Buddhism in Tibet, immersing himself so deeply in the religion that he still practices it today. He often visits Tibetan temples, discovering something new each time. Casting for the girls. Jason was working part-time at a surf shop when his cousin dragged him to an audition for a TV series, not wanting to wait in line alone. His main selling point was, "There are so many pretty girls there, we can check them out." And that's how Momoa ended up at a casting for the 10th season of Baywatch. When asked for his resume, which he didn't have, he made up a modeling career on the spot. Jason had always been called a good-looking guy, so the casting managers easily believed that this tall, 6 feet 4 inches, exotic-looking young man had been named Hawaii's Model of the Year and had worked for brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton. In this invented story, his cousin became a Prada model, and they supposedly started their careers in Japan. The trick worked, and after beating out 1,300 other applicants, Momoa was cast in 1999 as a 19-year-old guy named Jason, who moves to Hawaii from Texas.
Jason, are you out of your mind? You challenged Brian Kealana and Archie Kalepa to a canoe race for money?
That's right. Listen, don't even think about it. I guarantee we'll win. Hey, we own them.
Jason had no idea how to act or behave on set, but that didn't stop him from appearing in 44 episodes across the 10th and 11th seasons. However, this role didn't bring him widespread fame, as Baywatch's ratings had dropped significantly from earlier seasons. Jason himself doesn't like to discuss that time because, after Baywatch, the industry didn't take him seriously. It even took him 5 years to find an agent. In 2003, Momoa reprised his Baywatch role in the feature-length spin-off Baywatch: Hawaiian Wedding. Soon after, he appeared in the TV melodrama Tempted, essentially playing a version of himself, an attractive young Hawaiian guy.
I remember thinking what a big life you had. So different than growing up here.
You heard about my life?
Small island, no secrets.
None?
While still in Hawaii, Jason proposed in 2004 to his girlfriend, actress Simone McKinnon, who had also starred in Baywatch. However, the wedding never happened, and the couple broke up a few years later. A career change. By then, Momoa had forgotten all about a career in marine biology and had no regrets about his new path. He says that on camera, he can do anything he wants, even run around naked, and there are no consequences for it. This is the best job in the world, and I was smart enough not to mess it up, Jason shared in an interview. In 2004, he appeared in a small role in the comedy Johnson Family Vacation and began starring in the TV show North Shore, which delighted viewers with its Hawaiian scenery. A year later, he landed a role in another series, Stargate: Atlantis, where he played an alien warrior named Ronan Dex.
I don't know how much damage could you do.
What do you mean?
Could you overload the engine to blow up the ship?
How is that an escape plan?
I never said it was an escape
How is that a plan?
You're the one that says there's no way out of this. If we're already dead, I say we take him with us.
I suppose I'd rather die as a hero than as a meal.
So you can do it.
Yeah, probably.
Now you're talking.
Casting directors had struggled to find an actor with the right physical presence for the role until they came across Jason's audition tape. After landing the role, Jason took up martial arts, developed a passion for them, and later learned Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. At that time, Momoa had dreadlocks, but they grew so heavy that they started causing him neck pain. Before the show's 5th and final season, Jason cut off the dreadlocks, but the show's creators didn't want to alter his character's appearance, so they made him wear an equally heavy wig instead. Fulfilling a childhood dream. The Stargate: Atlantis series was filmed in Vancouver, Canada, but by this time, Momoa was also a frequent visitor to Los Angeles. On one of his trips, he went to a jazz club where he met actress Lisa Bonet, the former wife of Lenny Kravitz. Interestingly, Jason had first seen her on TV when he was 8 years old, and immediately fell in love. When he met her in person in 2005, he could hardly believe his eyes. That evening, he offered to drive Lisa home, but along the way, they stopped at a cafe for a bite to eat. Lisa ordered oatmeal and a Guinness, which thrilled Jason even more. He loved that beer brand and decided he couldn't let go of a woman who ordered Guinness in the middle of the night. To be with Bonet, Jason broke off his engagement to his fiancée. Momoa had to build a relationship not only with his new love, but also with her ex-husband and their daughter, Zoe. He succeeded brilliantly. He and Lenny got along immediately and eventually became friends. In 2007, the couple welcomed their daughter, Lola Iolani. That same year, Momoa starred in the horror film Pipeline. In 2008, Jason and Lisa's son, Nakoa Wolf Manakawapo Namakeha, was born. His unique name had special significance. Nakoa means warrior, Mana means spirit power, Kawa means rain, and Po means dark. Together, these elements reference the stormy weather on the night he was born. The name Namakaeha was passed down from father to son, following family tradition. Around this time, Momoa also acquired the scar that became his trademark. He got it in a bar fight when a drunk patron hit him with a glass. Jason had to undergo reconstructive surgery, leaving a scar on his left eyebrow. The attacker was found guilty and sentenced to prison. Warrior Heroes. After participating in the lesser-known series The Game, Momoa played the main character in the fantasy action film Conan the Barbarian. He won the role over Kellen Lutz, known for his part as Emmett in Twilight, and the filming took place in Bulgaria. Jason later shared an interesting story about his preparation. He believed that a true warrior should have scars and injuries, so he thought his character would look more authentic with a broken nose. As soon as he mentioned this to a friend, his friend immediately punched him in the face, breaking his nose. Comparisons with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the previous actor to play Conan, were inevitable, and unfortunately, they weren't in Jason's favor. The film flopped at the box office and was panned by critics.
Your reward?
I do not want your gold.
No? Then what?
I want your head.
Yes, of course you do.
Meanwhile, Momoa auditioned for a new HBO project called Game of Thrones, a show that promised to revolutionize television. At the audition, Jason performed the haka, a dance his father had taught him. A large, towering Hawaiian performing fierce movements and shouting at the top of his lungs impressed the casting director, and he was cast as Khal Drogo, leader of the Dothraki. Ironically, for his previous role as Conan, Jason had spent hours in the gym and followed a low-carb diet. Yet the film was a failure. For Drogo, he gained weight with beer and pizza, and the series became a hit. Jason shared that the most challenging scenes for him were the intimate ones with Emilia Clarke. Both actors were extremely nervous, so to lighten the mood, Jason covered his private areas with a fluffy pink sock. But he overdid it, and Emilia laughed so hard that she forgot all her lines and movements, causing a delay in filming. Jason's character appeared in 10 episodes of the first season and 1 episode in the second. It's known that for his appearance in the 2012 episode, he earned $600,000. Despite the global success of Game of Thrones, Momoa struggled to find roles in other projects. During those difficult times, he could barely support his family, and his debts grew rapidly. His own production company. Jason was frequently offered similar roles, silent and aggressive tough guys. One such character he played in the 2012 action film Bullet to the Head alongside Sylvester Stallone. However, not wanting to be stuck in a single type of role, he founded his own production company, Pride of Gypsies. Their first project was a true family endeavor. Together with Lisa Bonet, Momoa wrote, directed, produced, and starred in the dramatic thriller Road to Paloma. In this 2014 film, Jason played a Native American man on the run after taking the law into his own hands. These are the types of characters, good guys with a bad reputation, that Jason loves to play the most, as he believes audiences find them particularly compelling. The film was shot on a modest budget of $600,000, a tiny amount by Hollywood standards, and had a limited release, yet it received positive reviews from critics.
How you taking care of yourself?
Found a couple odd jobs. Helps me get by.
You know you look like shit, boy.
Yeah.
Since then, the company has focused on creating short commercials, which are less costly to produce and provide a reliable income, and eventually shifted to producing art house films. Aquaman. Meanwhile, Momoa's filmography expanded with The Fantasy Wolves, the horror film Debug, the crime series The Red Road, and the historical comedy series Drunk History, where he appeared in 2 episodes.
You need me, and you're not admitting it to yourself. And Andrew Jackson's like, I do need help from pirates.
In 2014, he also joined the DC Comics cinematic universe. Initially, he was considered for the role of Doomsday, but he ultimately landed the role of Aquaman, a part for which both Matt Damon and Simon Baker were also in the running. Traditionally, Aquaman is portrayed as a blonde, white character, but Momoa reimagined him as a Polynesian with dark hair, a thick beard, and many tattoos. Jason first appeared as Aquaman in the 2016 film Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Although there was no official mention of a solo film at that time, Momoa confirmed that his contract included 4 projects. That same year, he starred in the historical series Frontier, the dramatic thriller Sugar Mountain, and the post-apocalyptic drama The Bad Batch. Set in a future where people deemed unfit by society are exiled to desolate lands, The Bad Batch follows a young woman navigating dangerous territory plagued by a gang of cannibals. Jason played one of these cannibals, a character who falls in love with his would-be victim, played by Suki Waterhouse.
Do you see this, Keaton? Do you see her? You better start talking on me.
In 2017, Momoa appeared in the action movie Once Upon a Time in Venice with Bruce Willis and reprised his role as Aquaman in Justice League, earning a $4 million paycheck.
You haven't lost your touch, but it's good to see you playing well with others. Just like a bat. I dig it.
During filming, Jason often played his bass guitar in costume on set, as he loves the instrument and would frequently play it between takes. A Wedding After 12 Years. In October of that year, Momoa and Lisa Bonet married in a modest ceremony in the picturesque area of Topanga, California. They had hoped to keep the event private, but someone leaked the news to the press. When Jason finally commented on the wedding, he mentioned that he had considered Lisa his wife for 12 years already, and the ceremony was simply a celebration of their love and an occasion for their families to gather. At home, the towering, nearly 2-meter-tall Jason is known to be caring and doesn't shy away from household chores. "I'm not the king of my own house. I have to do the dishes, take out the trash, and say, 'Yes, baby,'" the actor confessed in an interview. In early 2018, Momoa starred in the thriller Braven, where he played a logger facing off against a dangerous gang of criminals. Then, in November, audiences saw him in his first solo Aquaman film.
I know you're new to how things work up here. Why don't you look around? We are lost. You see that over there? Hey, what is that? Nada. This place is a wasteland.
His paycheck for the lead role was between $3 to $4 million, but with bonuses, it could have exceeded $7 million. New roles and Dune. In 2019, Momoa lent his voice to the Lego Movie 2 and an episode of The Simpsons. That year also saw the premiere of the sci-fi series See, set in a future where humanity has completely lost its vision.
Power to defend against man will fulfill the great flame of the alchemy. Back to creating the belly of the dog. Follow brothers in the battle, bring the death together.
The show was successful and was renewed for a second, and later, a third season. For each episode, Jason earned $600,000. To perfect the battle cry of his character, he took lessons from Ollie Peters, lead vocalist of the Canadian death metal band Archspire, one of Jason's favorite musical groups. In fact, Archspire members made cameo appearances in the series at his invitation. Momoa has mentioned that he often draws inspiration for his characters from heavy metal music. In 2020, in addition to See's second season, Momoa appeared in a teaser for Ozzy Osbourne's song Scary Little Green Men, part of the promotion for Ozzy's new album. Jason expressed that he was thrilled and honored to be part of it, as he had listened to Ozzy and Black Sabbath since childhood. "I never thought one of my idols would ask me to be in their video, "It's incredible," the actor exclaimed. In 2021, DC fans were treated to Zack Snyder's Justice League director's cut, and Momoa also starred in the Netflix action film Sweet Girl, where his character seeks revenge for his wife's death.
If my wife dies, it's your death sentence. I will hunt you down and kill you with my bare hands.
While this film went largely unnoticed, the premiere of the blockbuster Dune was a major event. For his role as Duncan Idaho, the weapons master, Jason earned $2 million. Though he didn't have much screen time, he was deeply impressed by the scope of Denis Villeneuve's film. "I've never been part of something so epic," he marveled in an interview. "I can't believe I got to work alongside Javier Bardem."
Yes, I'm going to the Rockies tomorrow with the advance team.
I'd like you to take me with you.
You would? That's too bad, because no.
At the 2022 Academy Awards ceremony, Jason Momoa showed his support for Ukraine, tucking a blue and yellow handkerchief into his pocket to express solidarity and condemn Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The most amicable divorce in Hollywood. Meanwhile, tabloids were abuzz with news of Momoa's separation from Lisa Bonet. It was said that their focus on their respective careers left them with less time together. Despite the split, they remained on good terms, spending time with their children and supporting each other. For example, Jason brought a Christmas tree to his ex-wife's home for the holidays. Officially, Bonet filed for divorce only in 2024, listing their separation date as October 7th, 2020, and citing the typical irreconcilable differences. Unusually, the divorce was finalized in just one day. There were no typical Hollywood court battles over custody or asset division. Momoa and Bonet agreed on joint custody and waived the right to seek spousal support. Following the announcement of their breakup, rumors linked Jason to several women, starting with Kate Beckinsale. The two were spotted chatting warmly at an Oscars after-party, and witnesses said they left together. Additionally, he was rumored to be dating Mexican actress and singer Isa Gonzalez and comedian Melissa Villaseñor, though Jason did not confirm any of these relationships. However, he did confirm his relationship with actress Adria Arjona, though he has not shared when they met or began dating. The romance became public knowledge in 2024. New projects. While major changes were happening in Jason Momoa's personal life, he was busy working on new projects, including the western The Last Manhunt, the family fantasy Slumberland, the action blockbuster Fast X, and the superhero film Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Due to his commitment to Aquaman, Momoa turned down the role of Knuckles, the Echidna, in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. His paycheck for reprising the role of Atlantis' king was $15 million.
It's undignified for a king to jest.
Oh, excuse me, Your Highness, if I use comedy to mask my feelings and deal with stress. Otherwise, I'd end up looking like you. A very tight butthole. Super tight.
In 2024, Jason made an appearance as himself in the comedy The Fall Guy. Meanwhile, the crime drama In the Hand of Dante and the action-adventure Minecraft are in post-production, with the latter scheduled for release next year. Jason is also involved in filming the historical series Chief of War, not only as an actor, but also as a producer. He has long dreamed of creating a project set in 19th century Hawaii, a Hawaiian version of Mel Gibson's Braveheart. This idea evolved into a 9-episode series that will be released on Apple TV+. In addition, Momoa will work on another Fast and Furious installment, an animated film called Animal Friends, and a fantasy comedy Carnival at the End of Days. Although this project has only been announced and filming is set to begin in January 2025, it's confirmed that Jason will be joined by Adam Driver and Johnny Depp. Earnings. Experts estimate that the Aquaman star's net worth currently stands at around $40 million. He has his own line of rock climbing products in partnership with the company. So ILL and his favorite beer brand, Guinness, created a special edition flavor, the Mono, in his honor. The bottle featured Momoa's signature and a design inspired by his tattoos and Hawaiian heritage. Momoa's collaboration with Guinness didn't end there. In 2024, ahead of St. Patrick's Day, they released an ad featuring Jason, who jokes about his Irish roots after a DNA test revealed he has 2% Irish ancestry. In the commercial, Jason is joined by his mother, Connie, who was reportedly nervous on set, something he found endearing. This wasn't the first time Momoa appeared in an ad with family members. In 2020, he and Lisa Bonet starred in a Super Bowl ad for the online mortgage platform Rocket Mortgage Quicken Loans. In the commercial, Jason talks about home being a place where he can truly be himself, all while humorously removing fake muscles and a wig. Bonet makes an appearance at the end, helping him with a workout. Environmental protection. One of Momoa's most cherished projects is his water brand, Mananalu Pure Water. The brand stands out by using aluminum bottles, which are reusable and recyclable. The name Mananalu combines two Hawaiian words, mana, meaning sacred life force, and nalu, meaning powerful wave. Together, they symbolize the company's mission to create a wave of change against single-use plastic, which pollutes the world's oceans. Through a partnership with the plastic fighting platform Repurpose Global, Mananalu helps remove millions of plastic bottles from the ocean. Environmental conservation is crucial for Momoa, a would-be marine biologist. He is especially passionate about protecting his native Hawaiian islands, and a few years ago, spearheaded a campaign to save the sacred Hawaiian mountain, Mauna Kea. The mountain was set to become a construction site for a telescope, and Momoa did everything he could to prevent it. Additionally, he donates to environmental organizations focused on preserving Hawaii's natural beauty. Love for Hawaiian culture. Jason proudly represents his Hawaiian heritage, and the people of Hawaii embrace him in return, though there have been occasional misunderstandings. For example, he shared a photo on social media from a fishing trip where he wore a malo, a traditional Hawaiian loincloth. Later, he appeared in the same attire on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which led to accusations of sexualizing native Hawaiian culture. A lover of tattoos, Jason has one on his left arm that holds special significance. The rows of triangles resemble shark teeth and pay homage to his aumakua, a deified ancestor who, according to Hawaiian mythology, returned to life in a different form after death. The shark tattoo is said to communicate to the creatures of the ocean that Momoa is one of them. Another distinctive feature of Jason's look is his sly, squinted gaze. Amusingly, he attributes it to his poor eyesight. "I should wear glasses. I have them, but I don't use them." He jokes that he isn't trying to seduce anyone with his gaze. He's just squinting to see things clearly. Hollywood star without a home. Despite his love for Hawaii, Jason Momoa lives where it's most convenient for his work, in Los Angeles. After his split from Lisa Bonet, he became effectively homeless, opting to live in a luxury camper van. This $750,000 van has all the essentials: a minimalist yet functional kitchen, a living and dining area, and a queen-sized bed. Right after the separation, the newly single Momoa parked his van near a friend's house, which happened to be close to his former family home. For years, Jason had lived with his wife and children in a $3.5 million house on a mountainside on the outskirts of Los Angeles. He often used the property as a backdrop for photo shoots, shared personal snapshots from inside, and proudly showed off a climbing room made from recycled plastic bottles. Momoa may eventually buy new real estate, but for now, he doesn't see the need. He can stay in hotels or rented homes, especially since studios often cover these costs while he's filming. For instance, while working on Aquaman 2 in London, he lived in a luxurious £20 million mansion with a pool in the backyard. This nomadic lifestyle also aligns with the reality show On the Roam, which premiered in early 2024. In the show, Jason travels, explores new places, and meets with musicians, artists, athletes, and other notable personalities. The camper van isn't the only large vehicle in Jason's collection. He owns several Land and Range Rovers, including his first car, a Series 3 Defender. He had to sell this Defender in 2014 due to financial troubles, but later bought it back. His car collection also includes a $450,000 Aston Martin DBS and a pink Cadillac he named Bernadette, inspired by Elvis Presley, which he bought at 22. Momoa has a passion for classic cars and loves taking them out for a spin. For example, during a visit to London, he was seen cruising around Soho in a vintage Bentley convertible. Hobbies. Though his life revolves around the film industry, Jason Momoa isn't much of a movie buff. One notable exception is the 2007 biographical film The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which tells the story of Jean-Dominique Bauby, a 43-year-old editor of Elle magazine who suffered a severe stroke, leaving him completely paralyzed. Momoa rarely watches TV, avoids email, and isn't a fan of phone calls. However, he loves reading, particularly Japanese poetry and the work of French poet Charles Baudelaire. When it comes to leisure, Momoa prefers staying active. He enjoys hiking, kayaking, biking, rollerblading, and snowboarding. And of course, he never forgets his favorite pastime, rock climbing. Though Jason loves his profession, he's hesitant about his children following in his footsteps. He feels that the physical demands of acting are one thing, but the scrutiny and pressure of fame are much harder to handle. I'm strong and I can deal with it, but I wouldn't want my loved ones to go through the same, he says.
All right.
How do you feel about Jason Momoa, and which of his roles is your favorite?